Peter Parker sure has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Not only is the hero's new film Far From Home following the epic that was Avengers Endgame, but the movie is the final release of Phase 3. This means there's a lot of expectations to not only set up another Spider-Man movie, but give us a glimpse of what's in store for Phase 4 of the MCU. So let's dive in and see exactly how Phase 4 will get set up in Spider-Man Far From Home. Iron Man may be gone from the MCU, but his presence will definitely be felt in Spider-Man Far From Home as several of the characters mourn the tragic loss.
Everywhere I go, I see his face.
From the trailers alone, it seems like it'll hit Peter Parker the hardest, and he may seek a lot of motivation through the life Tony Stark lived. Finding inspiration from his former mentor, we could see Peter pay homage to Stark in the first Iron Man movie by going public with his persona. It's getting a little obvious that Peter Parker is Spider-Man at this point anyway.
Kind of obvious.
Classmates like MJ seem to figure it out pretty quickly, and the inner circle of people who know his identity has evolved into a large sphere at this point. So don't be surprised to see Parker step up to a podium and utter the line, "I am Spider-Man." Oh, we've got chills just thinking about it. What better way to end Phase 3 with a line that helped define Phase 1 of the MCU?
I am Iron Man.
One of Spidey's biggest challenges in Far From Home will be taking on the Elementals, a group of interdimensional beings who use specific forces like wind, fire, earth, and water. Naturally, Hydro Man is all about the water, and the powerful force could end up doing much more than rocking Parker's world. Disruptions in the water may lead to another hint of a hero appearing in the MCU, specifically Namor the Submariner. Namor was first hinted at way back in Iron Man 2 when a screen displayed a marker over Atlantis. The hint was built upon when Okoye discussed some underwater tremors off the coast of Africa in Avengers Endgame. With more water activity in Far From Home, Namor may be called to the surface for his big MCU debut. With Mysterio and the whole group of elementals as part of the movie, adding Namor may be a bit too much. But the Hydro Man connection could definitely come into play down the line and be one of the catalysts for Namor making an appearance. Ever since rumors started appearing about Disney purchasing 20th Century Fox, all anyone has been talking about is the X-Men making their debut. While Dark Phoenix is just hitting theaters this year, realistically, we would need at least a couple of years for the original franchise to cool down so it could be relaunched with just as much excitement. Still though, Spider-Man Far From Home is the first step in building the potential arrival of the X-Men in the MCU. With Peter Parker already getting excited about the multiverse existing, Nick Fury may give us a ton of hints of what's to come. Just merely saying the word mutants will be enough to visualize Wolverine's claws swinging with excitement. It would be too unrealistic to actually see any X-Men in the movie. Without any major casting announcements, the closest we could get is a close-up of some props like Wolverine's claws, but we wouldn't count on that either. Seriously, all he needs to say is that there's another world out there where mutants exist, and the movie will have delivered a great setup for Phase 4. While the X-Men may not appear in the movie, there's chances another group could. One of the coveted post-credits scenes in Far From Home may showcase the arrival of the Sinister Six. The evil group is like the anti-Avengers and could serve as the ultimate enemy of Peter Parker in the future. We all know that Sony has been desperate to do a Sinister Six story on film for years. Rumors spread during the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, the movie was nearly in production after The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and now seems like the perfect time to bring the evil group back. With Vulture and Mysterio already in the fold, the potential has grown for characters like Green Goblin, Kraven the Hunter, and Doc Ock to add to the mix. After Mysterio's inevitable defeat in Far From Home, expect a great post-credits teaser where he teams up with some of the most powerful characters in Spider-Man history. Nick Fury is a man of wisdom and knowledge. You want facts? Go to the man with the eye patch.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
And we will be listening closely when Peter Parker talks to him in Far From Home. The trailers already indicate Fury will unload some information about the Avengers when Parker presses him for why he was chosen specifically over the others.
So nice to finally meet you,
Spider-Man.
We already know how Marvel loves to manipulate and edit their trailers, so there could be a lot more to this scene than we even realize. The clip itself features questions about Thor and Captain Marvel, but there may be more questions Parker has. Fury's dialogue could go into depth about other heroes like the Incredible Hulk, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Black Panther, or even the Scarlet Witch. The answers will likely be vague, but some of these responses will give an indication of what's to come for the future of the Avengers. For example, if the Black Panther had a crisis in Wakanda, he could be referring directly to the Black Panther sequel. Also, keep an eye on those monitors in the background. Locations and information could be key to some of our other heroes. As Peter Parker copes with the loss of Tony Stark, he will have to forge forward and try to find his own way. As some of the trailers indicate, he will try to fill the role of Iron Man, but he is still just a young boy who needs guidance that Stark can no longer supply. So with this, the setup in Far From Home may indicate a new mentor for Parker as we move forward in Phase 4. This new mentor may not appear until Parker returns back to New York City after his trip. In all likelihood, the new mentor will not be Happy Hogan, but rather another hero who can guide him on the right path and help him make the best decisions. One of our top picks is the Incredible Hulk. With an injured arm, Hulk isn't in the position for action, but his intelligence and closeness to Stark could provide the perfect transition for Parker. An appearance from the Hulk would also help set up some of his future storylines, as the character's story was left pretty open-ended at the end of Endgame. Black Widow is gone, his arm is damaged, and Bruce Banner may need the stability of teaching a young hero to help keep his mind off things. The multiverse already has our minds racing about the different possibilities we could see in the MCU, and especially in the world of Spider-Man. As many comic book readers know, Peter Parker is not the only Spider-Man in the multiverse, and the live-action movies have never taken this notion on. Well, thanks to the rip in space and time from Thanos' snap and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, we are all ready to see multiple Spider-Man characters swing in together on the big screen. The ideal choice would be Spider-Pig. Just kidding, it'd be Miles Morales, of course. The character was hinted at in Spider-Man Homecoming, and bringing him in at the end of Far From Home as an established Spider-Man would create an epic moment and set up a possible Miles solo movie along with a great Peter Parker crossover event. This all depends on one factor: if the multiverse is actually real in Far From Home. Rumors and theories have speculated that the whole multiverse subplot is a ruse created by Mysterio. He is a master manipulator and loves to trick others, so these theories make a little sense. It could just be a big tease, making Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse the only way to see multiple Spider-Men working together on the big screen. When you have an A-list actress joining the MCU in Phase 4, you'll probably want to introduce her and showcase her as quickly as possible. This is the case for the upcoming Marvel film The Eternals, starring Academy Award winner Angelina Jolie. Before getting the X-Men into the fold, The Eternals was the best way for the MCU to feature mutant-like powers on screen. Seeing Spider-Man's connection with Thanos and the fact that Thanos is a Titanian Eternal himself, there may be a number of different ways to connect the upcoming film and creating a connection with Angelina Jolie. This is one of the more far-fetched possibilities, but creating buzz for a group of mostly unknown characters will be a huge help for fully launching Phase 4 of the MCU. Even if Jolie doesn't appear on screen, we could have Mysterio or Nick Fury mention the Eternals by name. Anything and everything to get the rumor mill running at this point. Spider-Man is going to have his hands full during his overseas adventures. Not only does he have to take on the 4 elementals, but there's probably going to be a point when Mysterio turns on him and the true battle begins. If Nick Fury is actually who he says he is, then he may need to tap into the trusty little pager to call on some backup. Yep, Captain Marvel could be returning to the fold, not only providing some much-needed help for Spider-Man, but providing the mentor role we touched upon before. Captain Marvel checks all the boxes Parker would need for a mentor, and she can easily arrive to Parker's side when needed, much like how Iron Man was often there or when he sent in robotic armor as needed. Of course, we don't want Captain Marvel taking all the credit, but providing a little assist to Parker could go a long way and help Captain Marvel become one of the flagship characters in the whole MCU. There haven't been too many rumors about her appearance, but a secret green screen shot could easily allow Brie Larson to sneak into the movie somehow. Far From Home will mark Peter Parker's second solo adventure. So after 2 Avengers movies and Captain America Civil War, our hero has definitely had more time teaming up with others rather than fighting the bad guys solo. We can only imagine Parker enjoys the hero camaraderie, and this is one of the reasons why we may get a hint at the future of the Avengers in Phase 4.
You're an Avenger now.
Maybe they'll be in a group chat on his phone, an official roster mention, or Peter having some offhand comments about a possible new Avengers headquarters. No matter what the case is, we'll be looking very hard for any clue at what's next for the Avengers. Either way, despite Tony Stark's death, Parker loved his time with the group, and we don't see it ending anytime soon. So the hints will likely come through dialogue as opposed to any type of post-credits scene. It will likely be at least 3 to 4 years before another Avengers movie, and laying the foundation now will help follow the same path as Iron Man did in Phase 1. The solo adventure will be great, and we don't want to rush the movie, but the post-credits scene will likely be talked about for months to come. So now it's your turn. What do you want to see the most in Spider-Man Far From Home? Anything we missed? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to ScreenRant for more great Marvel content. Thanks for watching.